Hello everyone, this is Jerry. I'm a 34-year-old man with autism, and it's been a while since I made one of these videos. Anyway, so this article came to my attention and I thought I would comment on it. As you can see, the article asks the question of whether the term special needs is the new R word. I'm going to say this as respectfully as I can, but my answer to that question is a definitive no. It is indeed not. Now, I made a prior video a while back asking people to not use autism or autistic as an insult, and still stand by that, with the added caveat of the government shouldn't step in and ban it as hate speech due to the fact that said laws are unconstitutional. But anyway, I still stand by that video, but the context is key here. And this one particular passage by the author of this article is particularly telling. My middle daughter, who has cerebral palsies and is also in middle school, abhors the term special needs. She's heard it used as a replacement for the R word as well. End quote. So while I understand the author's frustration at the term special needs being used as an insult, the term has been used for many years to describe people of various neurological differences, such as people with autism, for example, who require certain assistance or accommodations in order to help identify them and what services they might need. So the term has a clear legitimate use and is very different from using as a cheap insult. Earlier in the article, the author explains, just a few days ago I was talking to my oldest daughter who's in middle school, and she said she rarely hears the R word at school. Shocking, right? Except she said it's because kids call each other sped. And which the author further clarifies as being short for special education, which, yeah, does seem to be used as an insult. Now, this clearly demonstrates a rather interesting unintended consequence, and that consequence is that people have found loopholes around said words no longer being socially acceptable, thanks to many in the disability community, advocacy community, focusing far too much on verbiage and far too little on the actual context of how these words are used. This focus on verbiage creates a needless distraction by turning the focus away from the actions and thoughts that lead people to insult others in that particular manner. Now, most people understand that making fun of someone for having a particular condition is not okay, but making hyperbolic statements such as special needs is the new R word is extremely unhelpful because it creates another needless battle in the culture wars. I'll flat out admit that when I saw the title of this article, I was expecting something far, far worse than what was actually in the article, because I've personally seen far worse in some of the dark corners of Tumblr and Facebook, which are like ground zero of weaponized butt cancer. And I'm very relieved that this article really isn't that bad. I say this not out of disrespect for the author, but just an admission of how polarized and ugly the cultural situation has gotten in this country, and things really don't need to be like this at all. How many people saw the title of this article and just noped on out and didn't read it? Probably quite a lot of people, and while it's partially due to many of these people having short attention spans, it also speaks to the fact that many of these people feel like they're being talked down to, and to be fair, in many cases they kind of are. The rules regarding what is socially appropriate to say and do are changing faster than ever, and it's leaving a lot of people very confused. And in some cases, people are personally attacked over misunderstandings or misspeakings. The irony behind this is that much of the general public is actually getting a taste of what it's like for many on the autism spectrum, like myself, to learn various social rules and norms. I remember how frustrated I was at frequently being told that I couldn't do this or that simply because I said so, or that's just a bad word, or, a bad term or whatever, without any other explanation. Especially during my teen years when I began to really see how hypocritical the adult world often is. Anyway, to close this video out, while we should call out things like ableism and discrimination, let's also not lose our minds in the process and remember things like context.